Hey guys, welcome to the Whole Foods parking lot in Memphis, here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm starting this vlog a little bit late, but I wanted to just capture a little bit of my trip down from New York, or the New Jersey area where I'm from, down to Tucson, Arizona. And the reason I'm doing this trip is for a little training and racing down in Tucson, get away from the absolute freezing disgustingness of New York City. Just had some...
Head north toward South Mendenhall Road.
Just had some very nice sushi and cookies. Now people think Whole Foods, right? It's all bullshit. Okay, they're selling you the same cookies that you get at Safeway or whatever.
Turn left.
Welcome to Arkansas, home of Smokey and the Bandit. Arkansas State Line, baby. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. My first time ever in Texas. Got in about 10 hours of driving today, and I'm feeling it. Legs hurt. It's a long time to sit on my ass, especially in this old car. So here I am though, Holiday Inn Express, and it's super nice. It smells really good in the lobby. Can always use a good smell after 10 hours, 11 hours in the car. Prius is doing good. The gauge cluster is out, but I'm getting it fixed tomorrow, so I'm very excited to have cruise control for the final leg of the trip. It's going to make it a lot easier. But yeah, everything's holding up well so far. And yeah, making really good progress, you know. Second day out here and almost 3/4 of the way. So not bad at all. Yeah, so pretty cool. I'm liking Texas so far. Still damn cold after must have been 26 hours of driving so far. Still exactly as cold as New Jersey. Like, no difference. Woo! No difference in temperature. This is as cold as I like it. I mean, not as cold as Jesus. Basically, this is as cold as I can cope with before I start to lose my mind. So, just driving to the part of the parking lot that's closer to the room, but yeah, absolutely freezing. Let's see what we got going on here. I like that this hotel did not charge for parking. The other Holiday Inn Express in Nashville charged for parking. That's kind of a dick move, to be honest with you. I mean, you pay $100 a night for a hotel room. Damn well they know everyone's driving to the place. And to have the audacity to charge $7 per night for parking, it's kind of criminal. And luckily I was only there for one night, so, but yeah. Anyway, lights out. Hey, good morning guys. 7 a.m. here at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in beautiful Weatherford, Texas. Got this nice view of the highway, and it's kind of like when you go to sleep when it's raining, like the sound of the trucks and the tires at night put me right to sleep. So got a good night of sleep, and about to head to Texas Hybrid Batteries to get my display fixed, give my right foot a much needed break from pressing on the gas pedal for 30 hours, so excited for that. Not really sure how the rest of the trip is going to go because it's about 13 hours from here to Tucson, and I'm not sure if I want to drive that far, so I wanted to get a room in El Paso, but there's no hotels that allow people under 21 to check in there. So now I'm looking into Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is about 40 minutes north of El Paso. So we're going to see how that goes, see if I can get a room. I guess worst case scenario, you do have to drive to Tucson, but I don't know. That part of the drive is pretty remote, and I'm not sure if I want to do that at night. So we will see what happens. But anyway, let's get this thing fixed first, and we'll see how that goes. Hey guys, so on the way to the battery place, and here's where we are.
Turn right onto Grindstone Road.
Once you're outside of Dallas, it gets remote and rural real fast out here. So yeah, just finding where this place is.
Take the next right onto Grindstone Road.
There was a sign for a local politician here, and the guy was literally like wearing a cowboy hat.
Continue on Grindstone Road for 1.5 miles.
There he is, Randall Grissom. He's wearing a cowboy hat, tough on crime. I don't think there's any crime here. There's no one here. How can you have crime when there's no people? So, yeah, I mean, definitely really interesting. I've never seen any place like this. Like, I think this drive from Fort Worth to Tucson for the rest of the trip, it's going to be really remote like this. I've been to some places that are country, but like they're always kind of like fake country, like you know, like more artsy. This is like real, sort of like traditional, what you see in the movies, like Texas, like cowboys. So, and I presume that the shop is in the guy's house. So, but we're gonna see, like, horses. I mean, we're really out here. This guy has his own semi-truck in his driveway, and his own pile of junk that he's probably gonna burn. So, yeah, very interesting. We're only an hour outside of Dallas, so, and even less, like half hour outside of Fort Worth. So you could commute from out here, but these don't strike me as the type of people to be mixing it up with that crowd. Saw a lot of Bentleys and Mercedes on the highway through Dallas and Fort Worth. But out here you don't see much.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Futurity Lane.
And honestly, probably the last place you'd expect to have a Prius repair shop. Maybe it's a trap to kidnap all these liberal Prius owners and hang them. Because I don't know. I thought if you drive a Prius out here,
onto Blue Ribbon Trail, then your destination will be on the left.
Ah, here we are.
Destination is on the left.
Wow, look at that. It's like an oasis in the desert. You can't miss the place. It's got a lot of pre-eye. Alright, so we'll wait to meet the guy. So I was too busy talking with Matt at the Prius repair shop, so I didn't really get some good video in there. But here's what the dashboard looks like all taken apart. And he programmed a new combination meter to go in my dash, and he put it all back together in about half an hour. So really smooth, awesome guy. Highly recommend Texas hybrid batteries. Hey guys, just finished up a couple hours ago at Texas Hybrid Repair. Matt Sawyer over there hooked me up with a great job on my dash, and he took this whole thing apart and put it back together in about 30 minutes. He probably could have done it faster if I wasn't talking to him the entire time, but super nice guy. We struck up a good conversation about these Priuses, and basically he said what I already knew, that they're some of the best cars ever made. They're over-engineered. He actually said for the third generation Prius, they realized how well they did the second generation, that they were lasting too long, so they had to de-engineer the third generation because before customers were getting such good mileage out of their old cars that they weren't bringing it in for service. They weren't buying a new car, right? So that's not a good way to do business. A better way to do business is for the cars to last 200,000 miles instead of 500,000 miles. So anyway, aside from that, yeah, so we're back in business with the speed, and my cruise control is working again, which is great. I can finally give my right foot a little break, and the driving is so much easier now. So I want to welcome you guys all to
Take the second right on Omer Avenue.
Odessa, Texas. And this is a place I know a lot about, or at least I think I do, because I spent a month in school reading about it in a book called... And my microphone died, so there is no audio, but I will basically sum up what I was saying. In high school, I read a book called Friday Night Lights. It's about a football team that played in Odessa, and it's just a pretty interesting story about the football team and all the hurdles they had to get through with all the players living difficult lives in this town. It's kind of like an oil production town, so everyone had their individual challenges, but they came together to play in the state championship, and I actually don't remember what happened. They might have won. That would be a good reason to write a book about it, but I don't recall exactly what happened. But anyway, not a big book person, and I figured since this is like one of the only books, or maybe the only book that I remember anything about, and I wasn't sure the next time I'd be driving through the middle of Texas, I thought it might be worth my time to check out the town of Odessa. And what I found was just a really nice little town, nothing fancy, but seemed like good people lived there. And I was very surprised because when I got to the high school, it seemed like a great place to go to school, and like a lot of kids on the baseball field practicing, just blasting out classic rock, and everyone was just having a good time. Now, as you can see by the video, you either drive a muscle car or you drive a big lifted truck. So I did feel a little bit out of place in my Prius, but I'm sure they could respect my New York plates out in Texas. I think that makes up for driving a Prius. They see those New York plates, and they're like, whoa, this guy drove a long way, let's not mess with him. So anyway, yeah, here's the entrance to the high school, but I'm not so interested in that. What I really want to see is the football field that I read all about. So it's kind of difficult to find. It's actually behind the building, but there's so many one-way signs. I didn't know where to go, but I did eventually find it. So here we are walking out behind the high school, trying to find the football field. Now, it was right in front of my face, but I'm a complete idiot, so I didn't see it, and I thought it was on the other side of this wall. So I spent a lot of time walking around this wall, only to find out that that was the baseball field. And the football field is really right in front of me, like straight ahead where you see that field goal. Now, the reason I didn't think that was the football field is because it doesn't look like anything. Even the football field at my tiny high school that I went to had bleachers, and it was much more impressive. So you would think that a football field that a book was written about would be more impressive, but it wasn't. So I ended up just walking right past it and following the music and the classic rock around this structure here. And I eventually found the baseball team practicing, and it looked like they were having a great time. Like, I was just thinking,
It's kind of a cool place to grow up. It's a humble town, but if you have good friends, and as you can see, the weather in February is beautiful, 50 degrees and sunny. So you have good friends, you play a sport that you love, and it's just an awesome experience. So I have now realized that a baseball field is not a football field, and I turned around and I found the football field. Now, wouldn't you all agree with me that this is kind of underwhelming? I mean, it's just like there's not even a place for fans to sit. And here's what I'm saying. I'm probably saying the same thing right here. But yeah, it was definitely cool to visitate this location. After I had spent so much time in an English class waiting for the bell to ring while reading this book. So here we are in Odessa, Texas, and that's the whole story.
Hey guys, well, as you can see, the sweatshirt is off, and we're getting closer and closer to El Paso. And I apologize, I still can't get my microphone to charge, so the audio from the camera will have to do for right now. But, I mean, finally, 72 degrees, blue skies, mountains. I mean, this is why you come all the way out here. It's a long trip, but like when the climate and the environment changes around you, it's just, there's nothing quite like it that I've ever experienced. So we're on I-10. As you can see with this sign right here, El Paso, 97 miles to go. I'm going to be staying in Las Cruces for the night and do the final 3.5 hours, something like that, in the morning, just to be nice and fresh for Tucson. And then I'm excited to get this trip underway, but this drive has just been phenomenal so far. I got my gauge fixed. I've been using cruise control. It's been awesome. And man, yeah, I'm just getting used to my new view. Blue skies and 72 degrees right now, so really hard to beat this. Really hard. And I mean, it's just awesome. Now, I was thinking I could have probably made it all the way to Tucson tonight. I don't know how to feel about that. The last 4 hours of the trip are very remote, and I just didn't want to do it at night, and I figured, today's going to be a 9-hour day for me, so not terrible. And yeah, I mean, not a big deal. Like, I'm not going to be doing anything in the morning anyway, so just bang out those final 3 or 4 hours in the morning. It's not the end of the world, and yeah. So I'm excited. I'm closing in on the finish. And overall, the drive was good. Went great.
So, coming to you from the hotel room again, since my microphone keeps dying. But anyway, here I am on the highway in El Paso, and to me it was a very interesting city. So, El Paso is cool because it literally sits right next to the city of Juarez, Mexico, or as it's called, Ciudad Juarez. Now, from what I've heard, that's one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Yet, just on the other side of the wall is El Paso, and El Paso is a super nice city. At least the parts that I saw were. And so it's just interesting to see that contrast. And when I say it's next to Ciudad Juarez, on the map, the arrow that shows where your car is like in Mexico. That's how close it is. The arrow, the size of the arrow, like can't fit in Texas because it's like right on the border. So you can actually see Mexico. You can see the wall. It's all right there. So I've been to the Mexican border before, but it's interesting to be in a city, a big city that operates just on the other side. It's kind of interesting to see the differences between both countries.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Las Cruces, New Mexico. And also, welcome to the last day of the trip. So, and man, it is a beautiful day. I mean, it's only 8 in the morning. It's already super nice out. Blue skies, just perfect temperature. I'm really excited.
You know, it really uplifts the mood. But anyway, I think I'm far enough along I can begin celebrating. Not completely out of the woods yet. Still have 4 hours to Tucson, which is the final destination of this first part of the trip. Thinking about going other places later on, but my initial goal is Tucson. Stay there for a couple weeks, but anyway. So, I'm gonna check out the downtown in Las Cruces before I leave, and I'll take you guys along with me. Alright, peace. Okay, so this is downtown Las Cruces. I'm not gonna get out because there's not really much to see. It's a really nice town, just like everything's closed because it's early on a Sunday. But super cute. I mean, it's got that whole New Mexico thing going on, like the land of enchantment, so everything looks like kind of these old, like, adobe type style, which I think is very, very cool. They don't have that in Tucson. Tucson is like a city, like, where you just build however you want to build and it looks like terrible. So they don't have a theme like they do here in New Mexico and also El Paso. I found that El Paso is really nice as well. So yeah, I mean, this is downtown Las Cruces. Look, it looks like an old Western building. There's one big building. Doesn't really fit with the rest of it, but that's alright. So yeah, small town. Nothing crazy. And I can definitely see why it's a cool tourist place to come. So there you have it, guys. Downtown Las Cruces, New Mexico. Now on to Tucson. So, see you guys later. Hey, so a little bit of a special thing here. On my way to Tucson, I decided to take a little detour. There's a place I've always wanted to check out. Looks like it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time, like world-class beauty and possibly amazing cycling. And so right now we're driving to Silver City, New Mexico. This is what I would describe as the gateway to the Gila National Forest. So it's supposed to be an absolutely beautiful landscape and quiet roads, not many people out there. So now we are on US 180 heading out to Silver City. And this is just a straight road. It goes for miles and miles and miles out here into the desert. And I see a lot of signs out here saying that there's an extreme, that this is an extreme dust storm area. So I actually did get caught in one of these dust storms a couple weeks ago when I was in Tucson driving to the airport on I-10. Dust storm came across the highway and you could not see anything, nothing. And, you know, thankfully everyone else took the situation with the same caution that I did, and like everyone managed to slow down and I safely got through it. But that was my first experience in the dust storm, and let me tell you something, it's unlike anything you've ever seen unless you're from this part of the country. When that dust storm comes through, no visibility. This is like 10 times worse than fog or something like that. You just can't see anything. It's like you're in a thick cloud of dust. So yeah, anyway, I'm on my way to Silver City, and when I get there, I'll show you guys what I find. All right, hey guys, just outside of Silver City, New Mexico, and let me tell you something. This is where it's at. This is insane. 1-lane road through the forest. We're in the Gila National Forest right now. We just entered it. There is no one out here, not a single car. This might be the nicest road that I have ever seen. Well, there's a car, but you get my point. There is no one out here. Beautiful pine trees are
I'm not an arborist, but those are nice trees. And beautiful winding freaking road. This is nuts. This is nuts. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna ride yet because it's a little cold and this is not ideal for what I have to do, but there's still some snow on the ground. If I don't ride today, I will be coming back at a later time when it's warmer out. It's definitely worth the drive. Well, it's a good thing I didn't drive to Tucson last night. I would have never seen this. So this is unreal. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. So, if you're in the area, even if you're not in the area, if you're within like 3-4 hours, this is worth a visit. They said there was some monument 3 hours up this road. I'm not driving that far, but yeah, so anyway, guys, I am gonna, at the next place I see available to park, I'm gonna park, get out, and decide if I want to get on my bike. Because it is a little cold, there's still snow on the ground. I'm not sure if I want to get involved with that after I didn't drive 35 hours to ride in the cold. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, folks, so this is what it looks like here. Nothing but the sound of woodpeckers. Beautiful, beautiful blue sky. Blue sky. Trees. Chemtrail. And a beautiful one-lane road. So, I don't think I'm going to be biking. It's too cold up here, as you can see with the snow on the ground. But it fucking hurts. It's so nice here. And there's the Prius in the wild. That baby took me all the way from New Jersey to this beautiful place. It's hard to believe this car has seen the roads of the Bronx, New York City, Patterson, all of these industrial areas where civilization has developed the environment, and then it's hard to believe that same car, and to be honest, this same person, it's hard to believe that I was there and that a place like this even exists. Wow. Something unreal. Alright guys, so I decided to keep driving. I couldn't bring myself to turn back to Tucson just yet, so I continued driving on this road that I'm on in the Gila National Forest, and wow! It just keeps getting better and better. Look at this. S-turns. Unreal, huh? As you can see, we're in the middle of nowhere. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, this is another world out here. mile 16. I think I'm going to drive to 20. It's a goal for me. Look at this. Here are some of the phenomenal views just coming out of Silver City, New Mexico. And I mean, as someone from the East Coast, we don't get views like this, 360 degrees, blue skies. Right here you could probably see for like 60, 70 miles in any direction as I'm just panning around here. Yeah, you can just see that this road just, you can see the road going straight ahead for like 20 miles in the distance. It's just unbelievable. And no one out there, just beautiful desert scenery. So here we've made our way out of Silver City and back onto Interstate 10, heading west towards Tucson, the final destination. And just cruising out here on the highway, enjoying it. Prius is doing well at 80 miles an hour, 45 miles per gallon. And what I've noticed was that when I got into like a warmer climate, like 70, 65, 70, the miles per gallon, the fuel economy just got substantially better. So it was really interesting to see that, you know, going 80 miles an hour in New Jersey, you could never get 45 miles per gallon. You know, you'd be getting like 36. So it just shows that the batteries perform a little bit differently at different temperatures. Well, in a very anticlimactic fashion, my microphone died and it was still plugged into the camera, so even the camera audio wasn't working. But this is a video, you'll have to take my word for it. This is a video of me rolling into Tucson, final destination. And I'm kind of bummed out that my microphone died because I had some inspirational words to say there, but I'll try and sum up what I was saying about the trip. You know, looking at it at home, I was really apprehensive about taking the trip. Just the sheer distance of it and the thought of like what could happen if something goes wrong. It was scary for me. But you know, I had to remind myself, I told myself, you didn't take a semester off of college to sit at home. You took a semester off to do things, to explore the country. And I've always wanted to do a cross-country road trip. And I had to push myself, and I convinced myself to do it. There were some hard parts in the trip, but for the most part, I just had a phenomenal time. I enjoy exploring the country. I loved when the environment changed around me, just feeling it go from cold to hot and like the different climates and meeting the people along the way. And yeah, I just had an awesome time, and I would recommend it to anyone who was thinking of undertaking a journey like this. It's definitely worth it. Know what you're getting involved with. It's a long trip, but if you're prepared for it, you will have an awesome time. Thank you guys for joining me along the way.